Alright guys, I want to do a video on Darrell Waltrip as he is leaving NASCAR. I've seen people say, well, he's not leaving NASCAR, he's leaving Fox Sports. No, Darrell Waltrip is actually going to be gone from NASCAR. He might show up, here and there as an occasional visit or whatever, but he has made a statement that he is healthy and he's got a grandchild now and he wants to stay with home with his family. So that is it kind of saddens me because ever since I was like 5, 6-year-old, I pulled for Darrell Waltrip. He's always been my favorite driver. First time I laid eyes on a NASCAR race, I saw that number 11 Mountain Dew car, and that's how I become a race fan. I was sitting there with my dad, and he was a huge Richard Petty fan, watched racing all the time, and I got to watch it, and for some reason that just caught my eyes, like a Mountain Dew, I love Mountain Dew anyway. So back in, I was like, man, that Mountain Dew car is so awesome. So, yeah, I've been a Darrell Waltrip fan since 1981. And it's going to be kind of weird. I mean, and once you pull for somebody that's your childhood hero, and they're going to be gone completely from NASCAR, not even broadcasting, nothing like that. It's just kind of saddening. But I'm just glad he's healthy. Glad he can be with his family. Enjoy life. A lot of people didn't get to see Darrell race. A lot of you guys out there, it's younger people in their 20s or whatever, you never seen Darrell Waltrip at his best. If he was to be in his prime today, he would give Kyle Busch one hell of a run for his money. He won Bristol 7 times in a row in a Cup car. 7 times in a row. He won the Daytona 500. Three Winston Cup championships. Could have been 4 or 5. If they had a chase back in, he might have had 7 or 8. Who knows? Things was different back then. If he run trucks or Xfinity, if they had them back in his day, he probably would have had 150 wins. Maybe even more. But watching him and Dale Earnhardt and Rusty Wallace, Tim Richmond, all these guys battle it out back in, just made me fall in love with the sport. And watching Darrell, like I said, the Mountain Dew car, he went to the Pepsi car, and then the Budweiser car, and then he moved to Rick Hendrick to drive the Tide Chevrolet, where he won the Daytona 500, and later on in life, he went on to form his own team, which he won Bristol his last. Darlington was his last win with his own team. And I actually went to Martinsville and watched him race his last race ever in the Xfinity cars. And that was a blast. I'll never forget that. He wrecked half the field, but hey, that was fun. Yeah, DW was so good, man. I hate to see him go. I figured Jamie McMurray's going to take his place. It'll be him, Gordon, and Mike Joy will probably follow DW here in the future. It may not be next year, maybe 4 or 5 years, I don't know. But I think it won't be long for him. But going back to DW, it was, I had posters on my wall. I had everything. Hats, shirts. And later on in his career, he tended to do like a lot of drivers do. Like Richard Petty did. He raced too long. He struggled from 1993 to 1998. He struggled so bad. And finally, Dale Earnhardt, Steve Park got hurt. Dale Earnhardt put him in the #1 Pennzoil car. And all of a sudden, here's DW finishing 5th at Pocono and competing for top 10s every week. It's like a light switch flipped on. That's how the sport goes. If you're in a piece of crap equipment, you're going to run in the back. Even a champion like him. But once he got in that car, you could just see it light up. It was the old DW. And he finished out his career with Travis Carter in a 66 car. And didn't have it good. But then he went and broadcast in 2001 where Michael Waltrip won the Daytona 500. It was a great day. And all of a sudden Dale Earnhardt passes away in that crash in turn 4. And I'll never forget that day because Michael won and I was pulling for him and I was jumping up and down and it's like, yes. And I seen Darrell say, I hope Dale's okay. And I was like, wow, that was a pretty hard crash. And I just kept watching Waltrip's face, and he wasn't even paying attention to Michael. He was just focused on Dale. So, and then later at night they announced it. I was like, man, it's like I feel so sorry for Michael and Darrell. They just want to celebrate victory lane, this and that. And then that tragedy happened. But yeah, I hate to see him go, but you know, life's life. But he'll always be my favorite driver up at all those diecasts and stuff and all that. So, and you know, it's been rough over the years. Tony Stewart saw it. I'll never forget Tony Stewart coming in the league, and Darrell was starting like provisionals. And Tony Stewart made a remark like, "Oh, the only way he can race is get into the race with provisionals." And later on in life, and once Tony Stewart got up there in age a little bit, and he started finishing 20th every week and 25th, I was kind of laughing at him. Like, yeah, now you remember what you said, don't you, buddy? You're getting old. You're not even finishing top 20s. Come back to get you. And I love the Met. Tony told him, said, "Hey, time to retire, buddy. You're running the back all the time." That would have been me, because I was a true Darrell Waltrip fan. I would have told them that. But anyway, that's just my take on that. Just want to give you guys a little story here. I know I ramble around a lot. Sorry about it. But anyway, there we go, guys. And we'll see you later. And we still got DW for another 10 races or so. So we'll see you.